Salute to all the diehards. This is Die Hard Giants Live, and I am your host. I am Jarrell on IG and Twitter. Salute to those kids just cheering because that is probably the only cheering that our team deserves on this fine Wednesday night. Sorry I did not make the show last night. I was on another podcast. Salute to my guys, Trey and Maestro of Barbershop Sports Talk. They have a nice podcast over there. Go check them out if you haven't. They talk about all sports. Trey is a Baltimore Ravens fan. Maestro is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. They talk a lot about football. They talk about basketball too. So if you like another nice sports podcast to listen to, go and check out Barbershop Sports Talk. Now that all the nice stuff is out of the way, for one, I'm going to be dolo tonight. Steph is going to make it tonight. So salute to her. Hopefully we'll see her tomorrow on Dope Soul Sports Talk. Tomorrow night at 9:00 for Just Snicking It. Salute to everybody in the chat. Dwayne is in the chat. Salute to Dwayne. Hold on. Let me get Dwayne in here. Salute to Wonder Woman. Salute. My guy Tony Crow, Nixon Bruises is in the chat, man. Everybody hit the likes, replay gang if you're not watching this live. I'm usually on Tuesday, but yeah, I'm on Wednesday tonight. But salute to everybody, man. I'm trying to get out of here quick. Y'all know we lost. We got blown out. The Eagles. This is the game that really pissed me off. I already told you that. I'm trying not to get too emotional this year because I already know that we're not going to be that good. But losing to the Eagles at home, the way that we lost to the Eagles really pissed me off. So I'm going to try not to do that much cursing tonight, you know what I'm saying, just in case some little kiddies is running around your house and you got this on the big screen and everything like that. But, yeah, this was a complete shit show. We lost 28-3. This was egregious, man. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't think, like, calling for anybody's job like Brian Dable or Joe Shane should happen like that. I don't think they should be fired, especially not in the middle of the season. If there is a change, especially depending on what type of draft pick that we get. If we say we get like a top 3 pick and another quarterback is definitely coming in here, I'm not so sure that Mara want Joe Shane actually making that decision, man. Like his draft classes so far has been kind of lackluster. He's had a good draft class this following draft, like the draft that we just had with Malik Neighbors and Andrew Phillips is putting a lot of plays on for us. The rookie safety that we have, but I don't know, man. Like Andrew Thomas went down, right? So instead of putting Evan Neal over there, if he's so bad to be on the right side, why not put him to his natural position on the left-hand side? But so he's pretty much unplayable. Like how does that work? Like he can't play the right or the left. Like he's not the backup to either position anymore. I don't know how that worked. Joshua Zudu, who was actually drafted in the same year as Evan Neal in the 3rd round, we picked 2 offensive linemen that round. Evan Neal in the first, he was the 7th overall pick. He pretty much sucked for the first 2 years of his career and got his job taken. Joshua Zudu, who was another high pick, drafted in the 3rd round, he hasn't been able to stay on the field either because he's so bad. So Joe Shane, obviously, it seems like a lot of his high picks aren't working. Deontay Banks is still a question mark, even though he is our number 1 cornerback. It still remains to be seen if he's going to be that type of shutdown cornerback that, a 1st-round pick supposed to get you. But I mean, we'll see how that goes. I don't know about Joe Shane anymore, man. Like the question marks is still coming up as the years go by. Like I was a big fan of his when we hired him. Hold on. I was a big fan of his when we hired him. I was a big fan of Brian Dable too. It's not like Brian Dable can't coach. He won Coach of the Year the first year that he coached this team. But I'm starting to think that playoff run that we had, we beat the Vikings in the 1st round, Lost to the Eagles, obviously, but I kind of think that that was like in vain. We shouldn't have did that. Like that actually put us a couple steps back because of that run. We had to sign Daniel Jones. Not had to, but you have to think about like the owner wasn't going to let Daniel Jones walk at the time. Kind of can't let him walk after he gave us a playoff berth and he won against the Vikings, and he actually looked pretty good doing it during that game. But ever since then, Daniel Jones has pretty much sucked. He hasn't had a touchdown in MetLife Stadium since 2002. I mean, 2022. I'm sorry. I almost backed him up another 20 years. But 2022, that's 2 years ago. Like, he didn't have a home touchdown all last year, and he still hasn't had one this year. Since Daniel Jones signed his contract, I think he has more interceptions than touchdowns. I think he has about like 10, I think 9 or 10 interceptions. I think he only has like 8 touchdowns for the last 2 years. So, like, what are we doing? Hold on, let me get some of the stats here. I don't have the slides that I usually do. I'm going to just put up, hold on one second. I'm going to just put up the, make it a little bigger for you guys. Look at the total yards, man, 119. Like, what are we doing here? Oh, salute to Joe Long. Salute to Joe Long. Salute. Welcome to the chat, bro. Yeah. Curse away, the Giants suck top to bottom. Everybody knows this is a shit show, man. 28-3. And we're at home to the Eagles, our arch rivals. As a person who lives in the Pennsylvania area, who is surrounded by Eagles fans, that game pissed me off. I've been going through hell for the last couple games, man. Like, people been all in my face with the Eagles stuff. That's how it usually goes, because we actually don't, we don't play the Eagles very well, at least not recently. But the last game was crazy. Like, Daniel Jones got benched after 3 quarters. I'm going to put up a passing chart for him too, just so we could talk about him. But first, let's get into like the team stats. 119 yards. Who does that? Passing yards 43. Like, Daniel Jones had more passing yards than that, but you subtract the passing yards every time he gets sacked. And as you can see down here, we allowed 8 of them. So with him only passing for like 99 yards himself, he didn't even get to 100 in 3 quarters. The sacks brought him down to 50 to 43. And then Drew Lock came in, and he sucked too. So I actually think, well, I'll let you guys know what I think about Daniel Jones in a minute. But Hard Knocks, Saquon Barkley. This summer, the Giants was on Hard Knocks and showed the whole world what they really thought of Saquon Barkley behind the scenes and how they didn't want to pay him. This obviously was a mistake. Like, you can't tell me that Saquon Barkley isn't on this team because of money. No way. It can't be because of money, because him and Devin Singletary damn near have the same type of dead cap coming off the books this year. So it can't be because of that. I think that Joe Schoen wanted to get Saquon Barkley out of here because he is the last piece to the David Gettleman debacle. That's what I really think. That might be a hot take for some, but I really do not think it was about money. It couldn't have been. It doesn't make any sense to give away your best player because of money. They didn't even trade him. We didn't get anything for Saquon Barkley after drafting him number 2 overall. 2 other players, the 3 other players that's still on this team because of David Gettleman is Daniel Jones, who they can't get rid of, Dexter Lawrence, who is, we'll talk about him in a second, who might be the best defensive player in football, and Andrew Thomas, who is one of the best left tackles in football. So you can't get rid of cornerstone pieces like that. But you can get rid of Saquon Barkley, the first draft choice of David Gettleman, who he picked 2nd overall. So I think that's what it is. I think it was more about Saquon was obviously the leader of the team. He is the captain, just like Daniel Jones. But everybody knows that Saquon Barkley is the reason our offense goes. And it's not Daniel Jones. So I think they wanted to eliminate that factor just so they can show Daniel Jones deficiencies more. I actually think that they tried to get rid of Saquon Barkley because of David Gettleman and to show the owners what Daniel Jones really is. And you could tell by Brian Dable's face in the press conferences and stuff. He don't like Daniel Jones. Like, you could tell by the play calling. You can tell by the way that he actually has like assigned runs for him, even though he has an injury clause. And if he gets hurt, we on the books for like $25 million next year. If that's the case, Daniel Jones is still coming off of an ACL injury. Why the hell are you running design runs for your quarterback on third down? How does that make any sense? Like, none of this makes any sense. The reason we got rid of Saquon Barkley doesn't make sense. The way they handling Daniel Jones doesn't make sense. Like, this is crazy. Like, Saquon Barkley almost ran all over us. He is the sole reason that we lost that game. They didn't even have that many passing yards. Look at their passing yards, 70. But the difference is these rushing yards, 269. All of that mostly was Saquon Barkley. Let's go to the player stats real quick. Jalen Hurts, 10 for 14, 114 yards and 1 touchdown. Like, what is that? Our defense did its job when it came to that, but they couldn't stop the run at all. Saquon Barkley was running with a vengeance, 17 carries for 176 yards at 10 yards a pop. That is nuts. Like, he looked like, I don't know, he was like Jim Brown out there playing with the black and white days when they had leather helmets and stuff. When Jim Brown didn't wear leather helmets, but you get my drift. It looked like something out of a video game, man. He was Bo Jackson and Tecmo Bowl at MetLife Stadium. You could tell he was pissed. This was a revenge game for him. He tried to make it seem like it wasn't, but it definitely was. I know he got tired of asking. I know he got tired of reporters asking him about the Giants. Other players probably got tired of asking him about the Giants too. Probably players on his own team kept on probably bugging him about how this is a revenge game. A.J. Brown, 5 receptions for 89 yards. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's a very good game for a wide receiver, but he was the only one in the air that did anything. Devontae Smith, who can be named the number 1 wide receiver himself, 1 catch for -2. Like, they didn't do anything in the air. It was all on the ground, and they ran all over us. That is embarrassing, it's embarrassing because the person who did it is the person you pretty much just gave away to your rival. How do you do that? How do you do that? Like, I don't get it. So just because of that, some might say that's a fireable offense for Joe Shane just because he did that. But I'm not calling for his job yet. I know a lot of his draft picks didn't do much, haven't done much, especially his first couple drafts. Let's go to our player stats real quick. Daniel Jones, 14 for 21, 99 yards. Drew Lock, I don't never want to see Drew Lock again. I think if Daniel Jones get benched again, just put Tommy DeVito in. Matter of fact, I actually think Daniel Jones should sit, period. But we'll get to that a little bit later too, because I have a little bit of I have a quick video of Daniel Jones explaining what he's going to do going forward after he got benched. So I'm gonna start that in a second. But Tyrone Tracy didn't do anything on the ground, 23 yards. What is that? Our offensive line seemed like they didn't want to block. I don't think they believe in Daniel Jones anymore. Malik Neighbors, his first game back, he didn't do much for catches for 41 yards. You could tell he was mad after the game. Reporters asked him about how everything was going, and he said, "Look at the tape. I was pretty much open." What? He's a rookie wide receiver whose quarterback can't get him the ball, and you could tell he's frustrated. He told the reporter to look at the tape. I was open. So you already know how the teammates are feeling about Daniel Jones. Hell, Darius Slayton isn't even defending Daniel Jones anymore. That's his man. So Dexter Lawrence, I don't know what else to say about Dexter Lawrence, man. He might be the best defensive player in the entire National Football League. He leads the league in sacks. He is on pace to have like 20-something sacks this year. I don't think he's going to get there. That just to predict that he's going to get like 24 sacks, 25 sacks this season makes no sense for a defensive tackle, let alone a nose tackle who's right in the middle of the field. But he is a monster. He's having a historic season for that position. Nose tackles do not, or nose guards do not, rush the passer like that. They don't have a lot of sacks. They're usually just run stuffers. But he's obviously both. Like he's so big and strong and fast that he's unstoppable in the middle. He has to be double teamed. He had 5 tackles and 2 more sacks. Um, Brian Burns didn't do much. He did have a sack. I mean, but just because you had a sack as an edge rusher, I wouldn't necessarily say that he had a good game because he couldn't set the edge a lot, and a lot of those runs Saquon Barkley had were on the outside to his side. Azeez Ojulari's the same way. Yes, he rushed the passer and had a sack, but he didn't do anything in the running game either. Substituting for Kayvon Thibodeau, who's out on injury. So our defense is a good defense still. But we got to man up when it comes to the running game. The Eagles not supposed to run on us like that. They're not that good. I think maybe that's why I'm so pissed. Because this is the time to beat the Eagles. The Eagles haven't been playing that good of football. They have not looked like they've been looking the last couple of years, especially when they went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. They lost to Kansas City, but they are a fraction of the team that they were then. So their defense, the Phillies defense is definitely not good enough to stop our offense, and our defense should never let any running back come into MetLife Stadium and do that, man. You can't do that. So let's get back. Let's get back to this. Daniel Jones. This is Daniel Jones' passing chart. 14 for 21 for 99 yards. In a little over 3 quarters. He got benched in the beginning of the 4th. As you can see, he did not complete a pass over 15 yards. And that shouldn't shock you because this isn't the only game he's done that. This looks like this every game. That's why this is the first time he actually putting up a passing chart like this. Because I actually see the charts and I see where he is every game. I just don't put it up here. I just put his stats up. But this is showing you what our offense is doing right now. This isn't all on just Daniel Jones too. This is by design. Like Brian Daboll knows he's handcuffed at the quarterback position, and Daniel Jones cannot throw the ball deep downfield. And deep downfield is 15 yards in this case. That is nuts. I think we might have the worst offense in the league. Our starting running back just had 20 yards last game. Devin Singletary, who was starting before he got hurt, only had 18. So even without Daniel Jones, this running game doesn't work because no defense is going to have like 2 safeties high so they can stop like the deep ball on us. All the safeties is coming down. They only got like 1 single high safety, and the rest is in the box to stop the running game because we can't throw the ball downfield. Hell, Jalen Hyatt, scroll down here to the running back. Jalen Hyatt has 0 catches. One of those targets that he at least had, Drew Lock threw it deep. He pretty much dive and catch, bobbles the ball, doesn't catch it, and I think he broke a rib. Like he got hurt without being touched just by diving for the ball, a deep ball, and he fell. It looked like he fell on it. So Jalen Hyatt, much as I hate to say it, he might be a bust too. It doesn't seem like he's very good at all. Like before, he couldn't even get on the field, and then when he gets on the field and gets an opportunity, he botched it. But I think he botched it because he's not getting any type of, just think about basketball, right? When you give like rookies minutes, because he's not even a rookie anymore. This is his 2nd year. Like it's like that in football too. You have to play in order to get reps. Football is all about reps, especially in practice. If you're in the first team, especially if you're the first team quarterback, you're getting all the reps in practice. Like no second string or third string is getting like reps in practice. They just do like practice squad stuff to go against the defense. But your starting quarterback is going to get all the practice reps in practice. Jalen Hyatt seems like a wide receiver that doesn't get any reps in practice. How can he not still run the route tree? how when he does run the route tree, he doesn't know how to get open downfield. Like something is afoot. Like something is weird with Jalen Hyatt, man. He has too much speed and too much talent to do this. He barely gets a target a game, and then once he gets a target, he blows it. It's not like Jalen Hyatt, man. He won the Biletnikoff Award in college, meaning he was the best wide receiver coming out of that draft, at least in best wide receiver in the nation. Just because you're the best in college, that does not mean it translates to the NFL. That's why he was drafted in the 3rd round in the first place. But you could at least know that he's fast and talented. He could catch the ball and run routes. Something is not clicking with him on this team, though. And I can't say it's development issues because Rondell Robinson, who is another like slot quick guy, he's developing pretty nicely. He just small and can't do much on the field because he's small. He's always going to be the type of scat back, 3rd down back coming out of the backfield, or small slot wide receiver coming in the slot and just trying to get 3rd downs. You're never going to see him go upfield. He's not that type of wide receiver. But for what he does, he's developing fine. Malik Neighbors is developing fine. Darius Slayton, he obviously got the dropsies, but he was a 5th round pick, and he's a starting wide receiver. He's at least developed into a starter, maybe not a crazy starter, but he can start for a team. So I don't know when it comes to development of how they're developing our receivers. To me, it seemed like it's okay, besides Jalen Hyatt. So I almost have to give him the blame. Now I'm gonna play a video. The reporter asked Daniel Jones, what's his mindset like after he got benched, and this is what he said.
I continue to prepare and try to play as well as I can. Dayball can, it's his team, and up to him to make those decisions. Obviously, I believe in myself and believe, in this offense. So I'm just going to focus on myself.
Did you guys have some conversation when he made his decision, you and Brian?
It wasn't much of a conversation, no.
What did he say to you then?
Just said he's going to go with Drew, looking for a spark. So that was about it.
Was it difficult?
I'm just going to focus on myself. Get this man off of my football team, yo. It's over. How dare he say that after being I'm just going to focus on myself, and he's the quarterback of this football team. He got to go. It's over. I actually think Daniel Jones should be benched for the rest of the season. I don't think he should play another down for the New York Giants. And I think they should just start Tommy DeVito for the rest of the season. Brian Daboll already came out and said that DJ is going to be the starter going forward still. It's almost like he's sabotaging him. I don't get it. It's either an owner thing, because John Mara obviously likes Daniel Jones. It's definitely not Brian Daboll's decision. You could tell if you actually watch go on YouTube and look at the press conferences with Brian Daboll. It looked like he's going through hell right now. Like he's just handcuffed. He can't do anything. Like the reporters is asking him, how's the offense is being ran and how come they can't have explosive plays, even though obviously the reason he can't have explosive plays is because of his quarterback. But he can't say that in the media. No good person in charge, whether you're the GM or the head coach, is going to shit on Daniel Jones. That's my job. My job is to shit on Daniel Jones. It's the fans' job to shit on Daniel Jones. Even if you don't have a YouTube channel, you can put it in the chat, you can tweet it, you can put it on Facebook, you can say anything. He need to get the hell out of here. It's over for him. I'm sorry. He got to go. It's over. I already know the quarterback that I want is quarterback from Miami, Cam Ward, but I don't know if they'll draft him or if we'll be bad enough to draft him, because I actually think he's going to be the best quarterback or the number one quarterback coming out this year. So because of that, we would need the number one pick or the number two pick if one of the teams that's bad already got a quarterback already. Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence. If they have the number 1 pick, they're not going to pick another quarterback. They're still going to go with Trevor Lawrence, so they're going to go for another position. But maybe we can move up if they have the first pick. Do we have the draft capital to move up? We're going to need to find it. We need a quarterback. I don't want Carson Beck from Georgia. We already know how John Mara might go. I didn't want to bring this up, but I might as well. Giants haven't drafted a black quarterback ever. Not a starter, not a backup, not a nothing. The first black quarterback to ever even start for the Giants was Geno Smith when he broke Eli's streak. That wasn't too long ago. So until they actually do draft a quarterback, it's kind of hard to see it happening. But if everybody thinks logically, if race isn't involved, or even if you don't call it racism, call it stereotype or anything, if he's not going to draft Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders over like Carlson Beck or that dude Dart from Ole Miss, then to be honest, I kind of know what it is then. Because the type of years that they're having and with their talent period, even if they didn't have better years than Carson Beck. Carson Beck plays for the Georgia Bulldogs. He's going to have a good year regardless. He has talent all around him. Ewers from Texas. Look at the talent around him. Shedeur Sanders you can tell he's talented. He's putting up numbers. Colorado is winning, and he still has one of the worst offensive line in the nation. He gets beat up every week. Cam Ward, they don't have a terrible offensive line, but Cam Ward is putting up numbers, and he has talent around him too. So it's kind of shaping up that he's going to be the number 1 pick, but we'll see. It always changes. Carson Beck might, do something that'll change my mind. I highly doubt it because I've seen Georgia play plenty of times with him at the quarterback. Yeah, but if they draft Ward, I'll be shocked, but that's what I want them to do. So one more video before we get into the Steelers game. I'll just show, like with the Steelers, I'll just show like the team stats and stuff before we get out of here. I didn't want the show to be too long. We've already been talking for almost a half an hour. This is my guy, Connor Hughes. I like Connor Hughes, man, because he actually tells how it is. It's kind of rare for a sideline reporter or a beat reporter for the team to actually call it how it is, because he doesn't necessarily work for the team. He works for SNY. And salute to SNY for putting this video out on Twitter. This is Connor Hughes and what he thinks about the New York Giants right now.
This was Brian Daboll and Joe Shane's worst nightmare, worse than the situation that John Mara talked about in Hard Knocks when he said he was going to lose sleep at night. This wasn't just about Saquon Barkley running rampant on the Giants' defense at MetLife.
Mic check, mic check. I'm still here. What happened? There's always some type of technical difficulties. Hold on. Ah, man. Hold on. Sorry about that, everybody. I don't know what happened. My screen just went blank. My computer is fine. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Mic check, mic check. Somebody give me a thumbs up or something if y'all hear me, because I don't know if I'm on right now. Everything just shut down. Okay, we back. Hold on 1 second. Let me get that. I don't know if they shut it down because I played this video. Let's do it again. Make sure. Hold on. This is, like I said, this is Connor Hughes talk about the New York Giants. Hold on.
This was Brian Dable and Joe Shane's worst nightmare. Worse than the situation that John Mara talked about on Hard Knocks when he said he was going to lose sleep at night. This wasn't just about Saquon Barkley running rampant on the Giants' defense at MetLife Stadium. This was about the fact that the reason that Barkley was no longer with the Giants was because Joe Shane believed letting him go was going to give him the financial resources to round out the offensive side of the ball, give them more offensive production, and instead, this Giants team has regressed on that side of the ball. Daniel Jones was terrible. You had the offensive line, which had shown improvements this year, allowing 8 sacks to an Eagle defense that had 11 coming in. And I don't want to hear about Andrew Thomas being absent because the player that filled in for him, Josh Zudu, was a Joe Shane draft pick, and he was playing because a first-round pick that Joe Shane drafted, Evan Neal, is too incompetent to play, so they can't put him out there. Malik Neighbors did not make a difference. This Giants offensive side of the ball, we are no longer in the early portions of this season. We are 7 weeks into 2024. They have 10 offensive touchdowns, third fewest in the entire NFL. They are averaging 14.14 points per game. Not only is that second worst in the NFL, it is less than their offensive production from a year ago where they were so anemic. 15.6 points per game the Giants averaged last year, again down to 14.14. This is a demoralizing loss. This is an embarrassing loss. And this is a production on the offensive side of the ball that brings into question everything the Giants are trying to accomplish. There's a reason why fans feel down, and I can promise you that feeling resonates throughout this locker room, specifically with ownership up top and John Mara.
So like I said, salute to Connor Hughes. That's Connor Hughes for SNY, reporting on the Giants. I really, really like him as a beat reporter for us. Yeah, I don't know what happened before. I started a video and all of a sudden my screen went blank. I was like, they took me down. But yes, salute to Connor Hughes. Let me get the other slides that I had. Hold on. Get back to this. But yeah, that was the state of the Giants from Connor Hughes. If anybody's still watching after that debacle, let me get to some of you guys' chats. Hold on. Salute to Joe too. Thank you, Joe. Long for letting me know that I was still on. Agreed, Jarrell. Inside tackle doesn't get 20 sacks. Yep, that is true. That is true. What else we got? Dwayne said he wants Shador. Yeah, man. Shador would be a dream for us. But they probably won't draft him. That's crazy, man. Oh yeah, I like him from Clemson. Yep, I think he's probably be better than Beck when he comes out too. Dylan Gabriel. Yep. Hey, yo, so we got a troll in the house. Steve Ike. Yo, hey. Can't talk shit about the Eagles today. He said thanks for Saquon Barkley. I don't want to say you're welcome, but we pretty much did give him away. There's nothing to say to that, man. You can't really say nothing to no Eagles fans. I hate the Eagles, though. F y'all. But, yeah, we did give you our best player for practically nothing. That's how it goes, man. But, yeah, we got through what Daniel Jones had to say, Connor Hughes. Let's just talk about the Steelers real quick. I think it's about to be belt to ass on Sunday. It's gonna be a bad look for us, man. I don't think there's going to be a close game at all. If the Eagles beat us like this, the Steelers is going to come in. If we play how we played on Sunday, it's going to get ugly. I'm not going to like it. I don't have anything bad about the Steelers. We're not a rivalry. I know they got a lot of fans out here. But yeah, so far we're 30th in points. Y'all already know how many teams is in the league. 28th. Our defense is still pretty good at 12th. We have a top. I actually think our defense should be in the top 10. That last effort against the Eagles with Saquon running all over us. That's why we went to 12th, because we was in the top 10 last week. But that offense is not going to change. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, they are 5-2. Oh, I forgot to say that we were 2-5. But the Pittsburgh Steelers are actually 5-2. 16th, 19th. Y'all see it, points, yards, and that's going to change. That's with their starting quarterback not playing until the last game. We got to deal with Russell Wilson now. Before, it would have been a lot easier to deal with Justin Fields. I like Justin Fields, but he's not the passer that that Wilson is, so it would have been easier to play defense on him because he would have ran the ball a lot. Russell Wilson is going to try to run the ball. He's just mobile, but he's going to try to push the ball downfield. Salute to Joe. He said, good graphic, coffee stain and all. Yep. Salute to Canva. I use Canva for all my graphics and stuff. But yeah, man, the Steelers got one of the best defenses in the league, man. As you can see, second in points. And our offense is 30th and trending downward. The only reason it's 30th is because we actually put up some yards and points a few games ago. But lately, we've been actually playing like the worst offense in the league. So that's all I got, man. Another loss. Giants is 2-5. Oh, let me get this out of here. Giants is 2-5. It's going to be a tough road, man. I told everybody that it was going to be a long season. Don't get emotional about these losses. All of the losses is just going to be one step closer to our new quarterback. But the way that we're losing, we might have a new quarterback, a new head coach, and a GM. Like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all next week, man. Everybody have a good night.